Hello, hello, hello.
Matt, how are you today?
Hello, I'm really, really good. Thank you. And you, how are you doing this
I'm a
beautiful
bit
day?
sick, to be honest, but let's go carry on with this.
Oh, bless you. Hopefully, today you will feel better after our podcast, after our conversations. So, today I wanted to welcome you all in PowerPass, your ticket to greatness. Together with Hakiel and with me, we are organizing and running a podcast to teach you guys about psychology, about spirituality, about all the processes that are happening in our minds, and how can we take back our own power? How can we make our life better? And how can we become heroes of our own journey here on this beautiful planet? And today, together with Hakiel, we will be speaking about values and difficulties in relationships and about how much our own self worth is connected with the values and difficulties, and how our own self worth is implementing the quality of our relationships. So, the voice is yours, Hakiel.
Okay, so I think it's quite important to talk about values, even to explain why sometimes the relationships don't work. Okay, and I'm not just talking about intimate relationships, but I'm also talking about friendships. And it's something that I really start to realize that it's not because the people, they don't like each other, but it's because they have a different organization of their own values. So, for example, let's go try to give an example to be easier to understand. Imagine that I have the value of respect on the top of my values.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, you have the respect more in the bottom of your values.
Mm-hmm.
So what can happen? Many times I can feel disrespected by you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even you didn't have any intention to disrespect me. Imagine that on the top of your values, you have the freedom. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you have the freedom on the top of your priorities, of your values, you will respect your freedom. So, for example, you don't mind exactly to arrive late to a meeting that we planned because your freedom, it's more important for you than the respect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And
Or,
then we've got this balance between the same values, yes?
yes. So, for example, if we share the same organization of values, we can meet in a point that our relationship just goes in the flow. Because, for example, if I plan something with you, you respect me at the point that, for example, if you are late, you will ring me and you will tell me, you know what, I didn't forget about you, but I'm late. And this is fine because I felt respected. Even if you are late, you told me. But
Yeah.
this is because you have the value of respect on the top, like me.
Mm-hmm.
If, for example, about the freedom, if you have the freedom on the top, and if I have the freedom on the top, we don't care who is late.
Mm-hmm.
You will not mind to wait 20 minutes for me, and even I will not bother to inform you because you know, she's doing her stuff, but she will come at some point. That is when, because all of us, we kind of have the same values, because sometimes it's common. We judge the others and we say, this person doesn't have values. It's not true. The values, they are just different. They have a different organization of values. And in a
So,
relationship, this really jumps Because why do you think that the couples fight the most part of the times? One thinks that he was not informed about something, or he wants to go alone to travel, and the other doesn't accept because the values are totally different. And this is quite important when we really start to connect with people, to understand what are their values. It's not easy, because the values, it's something that is very deep in us. Yeah,
Yeah, we often don't we are not often aware of our own values,
ex-
what is important for us, because we all as humans, we've got basic set of values,
Mhm.
but we give different priorities to these values, and that's where we have this harmony. Yes, like you give more priority to respect and self-respect, and I give more priority to freedom and my own freedom,
Mhm.
and so on. So discovering and understanding our own values is the key to start discovering and understanding other people's value. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And as you said, it's very difficult to understand our values. I think one tip for the people start to understand what are their values and which values they have exactly on the top of their priorities. It's exactly when they get upset with something. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine, again, another example. Um, Imagine that I have a compromise with myself, okay, on the top of my values, and you have a compromise with the others on the top of your values.
Mm-hmm.
So every time that I feel the plans of the others, or their will, or the things that they invite me to do, if it clashes with my routine, with my scheduled things, with myself, yeah, the things that I chose to have in my life in that way, I will understand that when the others start to push me, because then I will feel pushed. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is the thing. For example, even of course they have the best intentions. They invite me to go to a party, or just to go out for a dinner. And I start to feel, okay, this is clashing with my plan about, I don't know, to go to the cinema in the same day, or something like that. So if I start to feel upset and pushed, it's because it's going against my values, against to this value. Okay. In your case, if you have a high compromise with the others, you will try always to be pleasant to the people.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't matter what you change in your life. If someone has a dog sick, you are going to help. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You don't care, even for example, you had something on that day that you were planning for ages, but if a friend of yours is in need, you go.
Yeah.
For example, if you have a partner that has the value of a compromise with herself on the top, she will think that you don't respect her, that you don't care about the relationship. It's so simple like that. And
Yeah, because there's this difference between our own values and our own perspective of how we see ourselves, and also how much worthiness we are giving to ourselves.
yeah,
Because it can be like this, that we have our values, we can have similar values on the same level, but I can have less self-worth, so I will be valuing your values higher than I do mine. Therefore, I will be doing everything for you, but then I won't be happy. So it is important as well.
Yeah, but this is quite important to understand exactly about the value of the compromise with the others. If it's on the top or not. Because if you have this compromise with the others in a high position, yeah, you will feel happy and worthy when you do something for the others.
Yeah.
And I can't change that, because even if I say to you, but Matt, come on, you had this plan for ages and you just postponed it. And you will just answer me, but you know what? I feel happy because I could help. And you
Okay.
feel
But what with people pleasers? What with those people who avoid confrontation and they please others because they feel very uncomfortable in confrontations, and then even if their values are not the compromise with ourselves, it's compromise with other people. It's what with those people? How can we um, make them see or allow them or open space for them to understand that it's also okay to compromise with yourself and put yourself first?
you know, one thing, when someone tries to be pleasant to the others, is not respecting a value, a personal value.
A personal value.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's going after approval.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone is going after approval, of course it will reach a point that will be really unhappy.
Yeah.
Because then even lose the notion about his own values. And this is a big mess, because then it's like, what are exactly my priorities? I don't know exactly what to follow. And when you don't respect your values, you just mess up your life, because you're
Exactly.
like your roots, your base that lead your life. Your choices in life, they have always in the background your values. Always. You don't do nothing without considering your values. So if you carry on in relationships that you don't feel respected, or you don't feel that you express your values, you have to jump out, and you jump out in a good way or in a bad way.
Exactly. It depends on you and your self-worth.
Exactly. Then it's about self-worth. And
Yes.
the self-worth comes again when you start to understand what, again, is more important for you. What is on the top of your priorities. What you don't open hand in your life. Because it's quite important to understand what is really relevant for you. Because if you don't know exactly what is right and wrong for you, so what is the road that you can take? Any.
Exactly. Any. Until you will discover which are your own values.
Yes.
And that's the thing. That is the question. What are your values? Ask yourself, what are your values? Allow them to come forward to you. Allow them to become clear for you. Because the more aware you are becoming of your own values, the easier for you is to respect them, and the easier is for you to feel happy and joyful in life.
Yes. It's really the road that people, they have to remember. And sometimes I'm aware that it's easy to create some moments for people try to understand what are their values. You know, they have several words, so then they pick up some words, then they have to organize the words, and so on. And it's quite difficult sometimes to organize these words, because you don't know very well what is. So it's not easy. And for example, then happens another thing. For example, you can have the notion of, or the value of respect connected with the value of being fair.
Mm-hmm.
So if then you choose these words separated, you will really get confused to understand. So am I more fair or am I more respectful?
Where is the balance? Yeah.
Yeah. What is the first thing and and the more important for me? And as I say to you, this is something that people can just try to organize their own values and to learn what are their own values, looking to their behavior and to the behavior of others. So because you learn with yourself and you learn in relationship with the others, you can't change that. So for the good and for the bad, if you feel good with your actions, you are following your values. If you are feeling upset, you are not following your values. And that's it. And sometimes when you see a couple fighting, you have this issue. And sometimes what people they say, what they verbalize is something like, he doesn't understand me, or she doesn't understand, of course. I talk. I even explain, and the person doesn't get it.
They don't get it, exactly.
Because the value is different. As I said to you, the respect and the freedom, they can clash very well. And for example, if they clash a lot, it's important that the couple, or even in a friendship, people, they can find a way that they can get the best of each of the values. So, for example, if I have the respect on the top, and if you have the freedom on the top, and if we are together, if, for example, you take me for situations like, Raquel, don't think about that now, and let's go take the train and go somewhere. Okay.
Being spontaneous. Yeah.
This can be something that I can take advantage. Of course, if this happens in a moment that I don't have a compromise with someone else, because then I will feel, no, I can't do that because I have a compromise with someone else, and I need to respect my value of respect.
So there are another values, and yes, over the another values. Exactly.
And in the relationship is exactly to understand then what the values of the other that are in the top can bring to your life, and what you give to the other. Because, for example, me with the notions of respect, I can give another perception to my partner about how to deal with people.
Yes.
So the things can be really mixed together.
Yes, and they can complement.
The situation is that the most part of the times we create a kind of trigger in our brain. Because imagine if you left me several times waiting for you. You didn't call me to tell me that you were late. So I felt disrespected 1, 2, 5, 10 times. By that time, I really start to get furious with you. Okay, so it doesn't matter your beautiful freedom, because I don't care about your freedom. So, and it's very important that for we keep our relationships, we share about what is disturbing us. Because if you come late and I have the voice to tell you, you know what, I really don't like when you come late.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very simple. That's what I wanted to point out also. People are very much afraid to speak about their own values. They're afraid of the reaction of another person. But it's so, so simple, yes? If we are going on a date, if we are entering into a relationship, it's very important to state your values. And if a person is behaving in a way that it's entering in your own values, you are just expressing it and saying, listen, for me, the respect or my self-respect is very high value. And I would really appreciate if you tell me or call me or do this or that. And in that way, first of all, we don't keep it inside. Yes, we don't build this energy. We don't build this furious energy. And another way, we can see if the person is treating us seriously or is not treating us seriously. And it's very simple and very human-like, but it requires a bit of confidence, a bit of self-worth, and a bit of courage,
Mm-hmm.
simply to express yourself.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that I believe also that is relevant here to share, because it's like it's sounding like, oh, you just have to talk and then the person will understand you and then will do everything that you say. It's not that, because if I have the respect on the top and you have the respect in the bottom, there is no middle. I can have the conversation with you and you can understand exactly what I'm asking if you have the respect, let's say, more in the middle of your own values, of your organization of values. If you have it in the bottom, forget, because I can talk as much as I want because you don't care. The respect, it's in the bottom.
Yeah, that's obvious. But in these situations, when we meet these people, it's naturally that our vibration are not attracting each other, are repelling each other, and naturally we just drift in different directions. So I see it like something we don't need to force ourselves to be with someone forcefully, yeah? Oh, because they are beautiful or because they are smart or because they've got any other quality. But if the values are totally different, so we can force ourselves and then be unhappy and furious and go in all these bad patterns and energies that are totally unnecessary.
But you are mentioning something very important, because of course when you work more about with your inner world and your reactions, of course we are more aware when we are in a situation that we have to draw a line. Okay, that we know, okay, this is too much for me, I can't deal with this, so I'm drawing a line now. So you are there, I'm here, and that's it. But many times the people are not thinking about this. They just know that they don't feel well. Okay, because it's not easy for us relational people and human beings, because we meet people. This is the reality. It's not easy for a person understands that needs to set a boundary even with someone that the person likes, but gives to them really unpleasant experiences and unpleasant situations. And this is exactly the alarm that I believe that it's very important that the people get from this conversation that we are having here today. It's like, okay, am I feeling good with this or not? It's very straight and simple question. Am I feeling good or not?
Or not.
And the thing is, especially focus in your own body, because sometimes our mind plays up. You start to create a movie. Oh, the order didn't turn up because I'm not important. or it doesn't value me enough, and I'm not worthy, and blah blah blah. So the movies can be a million.
Mind will create everything that it is able to create.
Yes, and at this point it is quite important that the person really talks to her own heart. Okay, am I feeling good or not? Is my
Simple.
body at ease or not? Because many times you are so used to be in unpleasant situations that even you forget if you are comfortable in there or
Yeah.
not. You are always
Yeah.
in tension, like you get used to feeling tension.
Yeah.
So then,
It's something normal. Yeah.
yeah, and this is really hard for then you start exactly to organize your values and to understand what is exactly a situation that is unpleasant for you, and to understand exactly when you should set a boundary. So then
Exactly.
you really get confused.
So, to sum up our beautiful conversation today, in order to understand another person, we need to understand ourselves first.
Yes.
We need to discover our own values, our own priorities that we give to those values. And then when we see what we value the most, then we will be able to relate to another person, understand another person, and see what are their priorities and their values.
And
Therefore, we can,
sorry, and even to don't relate, because then
yes,
the
or
person
don't relate. Yeah,
have the same values like me and even similar. So you
it's
set a
okay. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, therefore, by discovering our own values and understanding ourselves, we'll be able to see if the other person they've got similar values or not, and then we can use our strength and avoid any difficulties in relationships, not only romantic but also friends and all other relationships that we have. And so, ask yourself this question: what are my values? What do I cherish the most in myself and in other people? And then you will start discovering more and more about yourself and more about others.
Yeah. And don't forget to look and to pay attention in the reactions of your body. Your body is your friend. Even sometimes you struggle with your body and with the shape of your body. It's a friend. It's your best friend because it came with you when you were born. So you have to deal with it every single day. So start exactly to pay attention in your body reactions.
Your body is your friend, and your body is telling you how it is right now. There are no movies in the mind. There's just simple information. This is how I feel right now. And based on these feelings from the body, we can decide, is it good for me or is it bad for me? Amazing. I feel very much complete for today. Thank you for these pearls of wisdom today.
Oh,
And we invite you for another episode of our podcast PowerPass, your ticket to greatness, every Monday about 6 p.m. British time. Thank you and
thank you.
goodbye.
Bye until Monday.